Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome again. We'll be studying Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 47, the Song of the Week. Please join us for Kirtan. Jai Radha Madhav. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Vrajanarandana. Yashodanandana Vrajanarandana. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जनंत कोरे वैष्णववृंद की जय, निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
श्रवतां स्वकथा कृष्णा
श्रवतां स्वकथा कृष्णा
पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तनः
पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तन
हृदयन्तस्तो ह्यभद्राणि
हृदयन्तस्थो भद्राणि
विदुनोते सुहसताम्
विदुनोति सहृत्सुताम्
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
भगवते उत्तम श्लोके
भगवतेरुत्तम श्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी।
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we'll be studying Srimad Bhagavatam 10th Canto, chapter 47, the Song of the Bee. Now, this is a very important lesson, and here let's recap where we were. So Shukdev Goswami is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, and later on the same Bhagavatam is spoken by Sutta Goswami at Namasharanya in the assembly of great sages, and their spokesperson is Shaunaka Rishi. So as Shukdev Goswami is speaking to Parikshit Maharaj is fasting for 7 days and 7 nights, waiting for his death. So again, he was the emperor of the world, yet at the same time he renounced everything and wants to engage in the topmost subject matter that one should focus on, especially. So he asks two questions. What is the duty of a man, right, in his life? And then the second question is, one who is about to die. So what is the duty of a man who is about to die? And the response is that we should listen to the name, fame, glories and pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. So here, in this particular pastime, where the song of the bee is, again, a lot of references are given for Ujjwal Nilamani, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur provides great references. So we will touch on the subject matters. We won't go too much into the technical, yet at the same time we want to cover some of the subject matters. So please join us. Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 47, verse 1 and 2. Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Tam Vekshya Krishnanucharam Vrajastriyaha.
Tam Vekshya Krishnanucharam Vrajastriyaha.
Pralamba Bahum Navakanjalochanam.
Pralamba Bahum Navakanjalochanam.
Pitambaram Pushkara Malinam Lasan.
Pitambaram Pushkara Malinam Lasan.
Mukharavindam Parimrishta Kundalam.
Mukharavindam Parimrishta Kundalam.
Suvismitah ko ayam api vyadarshanaha.
Suvishmita koyam api vyadarshana.
Kutascha kasya chutavesha bhushanaha.
Kutascha kasya chita वेशभूषणा
इति स्म सर्वाः परिभव्यरुत्सुकाः
इति स्म सर्वा परिवावरुत्सुकाः
तम् उत्तमश्लोकापदाम्बुजाश्रयम्
तम् उत्तमाश्लोकपदाम्बुजाश्रयम्.
Please say. Okay. Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Shukvacha.
Shri Shukdev Goswami said,
Shri Shukdev Goswami said,
Tam,
Tam,
him,
him,
Viksha,
Viksha,
seeing,
seeing,
Krishna Anucharam,
Krishna Anucharam,
the servant of Lord Krishna,
the servant of Lord Krishna, Uddhav,
Vraja Striyaha,
Vraja Striya,
the women of Vraj,
the women of Vraj,
Pralamba,
Pralamba,
hanging down, Bahum,
Bahum,
whose arms, Nava,
Nava,
young, Kanja,
Kanja,
like lotuses, Lochanam,
Lochanam,
whose eyes, Pita, yellow, Ambaram, wearing a garment, Pushkara, of lotuses, Malinam, wearing a garland, Lasat, effulgently glowing, Mukha, whose face, Arvindam, lotus-like, Parimrishta, polished, Kundalam, whose earrings, Suvismitaha, quite astonished, Kaha, who, I am, this, Apivya, handsome, Darshanaha, whose appearance, Kutaha, from where, Cha, and Kasya, belonging to whom, Achyuta, of Krishna, Vesha, wearing the clothing, Bhushanaha, and ornaments, Iti, saying this, Sma, indeed, Sarvaha, all of them, Parivavruhu, surrounded, Utsukaha, eager, Tam, him, Uttama Shloka, of Lord Krishna, who is praised by the best poetry.
Who is praised by the best poetry.
Pada Ambuja,
By
the lotus feet. Ashrayam, who is sheltered. Translation by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Shukdev Goswami said, the young women of Vraj became astonished upon seeing Lord Krishna's servant, who had long arms, whose eyes resembled a newly grown lotus, who wore a yellow garment and a lotus garland, and whose lotus-like face glowed with brightly polished earrings. Who is this handsome man? The gopis asked. Where has he come from? And whom does he serve? He is wearing Krishna's clothes and ornaments. Saying this, the gopis eagerly crowded around Uddhav, whose shelter was the lotus feet of Lord Uttamashloka, Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshitarine Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tadaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this chapter is again glorifying the gopis, but what is the beginning? So last class we left us that when Uddhav, after performing his daily duties, he came out. And the gopis, they had surrounded this golden chariot that was previously brought by Akrur. And when they looked at Uddhav, they were astonished. And they asked from each other, who is this man? Because Uddhav looked very much like Lord Krishna. So he resembled Lord Krishna very much. Yet at the same time, they could distinguish that even though he looks like Lord Krishna, he dresses like Lord Krishna, his even talks and his walk is like Lord Krishna, his limbs are like Lord Krishna. Yet at the same time, they could assess very clearly that he is not Lord Krishna. So that's, again, they were, even, and who are gopis? They were simple girls, village girls, milkmaids, and they were just completely not sophisticated. Yet at the same time, the glories are revealed where we learn that they were the most exalted devotees of the Lord, and they knew about Lord Krishna, that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the conversation will proceed. And Uddhav, so it's very important for us to recap who is Uddhav, because he is the one who is going to get astonished when he is conversing with these gopis. So Uddhav is cousin of Lord Krishna. His father Devbhag is brother of Vasudev, father of Lord Vasudev Krishna. And Uddhav is very close friend. Now you could ask, who was Uddhav in his previous birth? So it just happens that a portion of Uddhav, so he's a Jiva Tattva, and Jiva Tattvas can expand up to 9, as we see in the case of Kadamba Muni. And, Devhuta and Kadamba Muni, when they decided to enjoy, at that time Kadamba Muni expanded into 9, and Srila Prabhupada reveals that living entities can expand up to 9, so we are limited, while Lord Krishna expands unlimitedly. 9 manifestations, 9 forms. So one portion of Uddhav used to be one of the Vasus. And in the days of yore, when the demigods were praying, guided under the guidance of Lord Brahma, they were praying to Lord Vishnu, none other than Krishna. So they were praying to Lord Vishnu, and at that time, this Vasu had this desire to become associate of the Lord. And so he received this boon, and so Uddhav is an eternal associate of Lord Krishna. And he is able to serve Lord Krishna as a mantri. Mantri is being used, but Srila Prabhupada reveals that he is a very close associate as an advisor. And it's also very important to understand that how close is Uddhav. Uddhav is considered the most intelligent of Vrishnis. Who is his spiritual master? Sakshat Brahaspati. So Brahaspati, who is the spiritual master of the demigods, is the spiritual master of Uddhav. So he has received knowledge, he has received, various realizations when serving Brahaspati as his spiritual master. And he's an expert, right? He's a Kshatriya. So Kshatriyas, when they finish their education, they're also educated in Dhanur Vidya, which is various ways of placing an argument, making the two parties, resolve conflict resolution, and also to be able to debate expertly. And here, Uddhav is bewildered at times when he is seeing, and as you would see as well, that when we look at the arguments given by the gopis, and especially by Radharani, she is completely, defeating Uddhav in the and the various forms. It has been described by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary as described in Sri Ujjwala Nilmani, that's the composition where different ways one talks about, like Vijalpa, Ajalpa, Sanjalpa. So those are Jalpa and Ajalpa and many other varieties. So there are many various verses in this composition, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is revealing as how when Radharani is giving her arguments, Uddhav doesn't have any response. And he's astonished that these are simple cowherd mates of a village, and they are more exalted, more highly exalted personalities who love Krishna many folds, thousands and thousands of folds than how Uddhav loves. And how does Uddhav love? Now somebody would say, if they are thousands and thousands of times more, then how does Uddhav love Krishna? Uddhav, being a close associate, he is constantly serving Lord Krishna. He is a constant companion. And when Lord Krishna sleeps, he likes to press Lord Krishna's feet, massage his hands and arms, and just to make sure that Lord Krishna is nicely relaxed. He even dresses Lord Krishna. He is constantly, serving Lord Krishna day and night. So one of the example is, when you are serving someone so closely, familiarity breeds contempt, right? But that is not the case, because devotees, when they are serving the Lord, or even the servant of the Lord, their spiritual master, or the senior Vaishnavas, there are two factors. One is respect. They're always seeking the blessing, and they're loving with the mood that they are, this is a privilege that they have been provided. So they're taking it as a privilege. And they are very respectful, very humble, and very tolerant in this mood that they want to serve. So when you want to serve, there cannot be any sense of pride, because you want to respectfully serve for having given this opportunity. Second is with love. So it is a loving exchange. Dadati pratigrahanati guhyamakhyati prichati bhunjate bhojate chaiva sadvitam priti lakshanam. So priti is like, the loving exchanges. So what are the signs of these loving exchanges? Dadati pratigrahanati, giving of gifts and accepting gifts. Guhyamakhyati prichati, inquiring about transcendental subject matters, secret subject matters, and also receiving that knowledge, shravanam, so hearing about those subject matters. And bhunjate bhujate chaiva, offering prasadam and accepting prasadam. And we talked about like how Narad Muni, when he was in his previous birth, a maidservant's son got purified for eating the remnants, just by eating the remnants of the Vedantists who were visiting and who had stayed for the Chaturmasya, the 4 months of rainy season. They had stayed at this ashram where his mother was serving. And yet, before cleaning the plate, he saw some remnants, so he took their permission. So you don't just take it, right? You have the mood of giving. So devotee has a mood of giving, not just taking. And when something is there, then devotee asks for permission. And then, if one has Krishna, only one who has Krishna can give you Krishna. That's why Srila Prabhupada stresses again and again that we should take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master who is in a disciplic succession. And when we take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, we serve them. We inquire from them humbly in a submissive mood. And being pleased by our service, they may decide to share, and give us instruction. So a disciple is one who is ready to be disciplined. So we want to be disciplined because our senses are out of control, because they are given to us by material energy, and our mind is the strongest one of them. And we need to be on this path, right? So we need someone to drive us. That's why I said that if we are on this Kirtan boat, the favorable winds are the instructions of our spiritual master that will move our boat in the right direction. And what's the direction? The aim is Krishna. And we want to attain Krishna, and that will happen when the love of Godhead will evoke in our heart, when we will develop that love of Godhead. And the most important element of developing that love is Shravanam and Kirtanam. So we need to hear and we need to chant.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So here the gopis are looking at Uddhav, and Uddhav has been sent by who? None other than Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna held his hands in his hand, taking his hands in his hands like a close associates, like, and they're cousins as well as very good friends. So he's telling him that why don't you go to Vrindavan and you go and visit Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Mai. And then Lord Krishna gives the instruction that was surprising to Uddhav as well. And then he says, please pass on my message to the gopis who consider me their life and soul. They live for me only. And we talked about the reference in Bhagavad Gita where Lord Krishna is revealing to Arjuna that his devotees are constantly chanting about him. Mat chitta madgat prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayanta shamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So mat chitta madgat prana, constantly thinking of me, considering me to be the life and soul. My devotees are constantly engaged in serving me, worshipping me and so forth. And they are conversing about me. And so by conversing about me, they are deriving great satisfaction, tushyanti and ramanti. And they are also experiencing transcendental bliss. So when Lord Krishna is revealing, then he is saying that they are, constantly experiencing transcendental bliss. Yet at the same time, he is expressing as if they are in distress. So Uddhav is feeling that Lord Krishna, he said about the gopis. So he has this desire. Who are these gopis who Lord Krishna is speaking so with such a loving mood? And we also covered the story where Krishna has a headache, right? And so Uddhav knew that when Lord Krishna is sleeping, sometimes he will call out for the names of various cows and the names of the gopis and the gopa boys. So again, gopis' names was something that was causing even distress to his queen. So, but he has not yet been married. So when he sends Uddhav, he is still unmarried, and he is sending Uddhav. So Uddhav knew that Lord Krishna calls out gopis' names. So now he goes to Vrindavan. So he starts in the morning, reaches there during dusk time, and at that time it's said that Lord expands his pleasure potency, his yog maya, and with that Uddhav is going, and all the cows, oxen, bulls and calves are returning from the forest. So there's a lot of dust being raised by them. So Uddhav's chariot is able to pass through in midst of all these animals and the cowherd boys unnoticed. Because if they had seen Uddhav at that time, they would have stopped him, right, and on the way, and they would have expressed the feeling of separation, the vipralamba bhav, right? So he was able to cross, and then when he reaches the palace of Nand Maharaj comes, welcomes him, takes him inside, and Uddhav is able to relax. His feet are washed, he is nicely massaged by the servants of Nand Maharaj, and after taking bath and feeling clean, Nand Maharaj, he goes and converses with Uddhav. So at that time, Uddhav gets the first glimpse of Vipralamba Seva. So when Nand Maharaj is talking about Krishna with Uddhav, he could feel that Nand Maharaj, even though he has been told again and again by the sages and great personalities that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he thinks that, Lord Krishna is my son. Krishna and Balaram are just like my sons, and I miss them so much. And then they are talking about the various pastimes from the childhood, as how Lord Krishna killed Putana, how he killed, just after birth, how when he was 3 months old, he killed the cart demon, Shaktasur, and how when he was 1 year old, he killed, Tranavarta, the whirlwind demon. When he grew a little older, he pulled down the, Yamalajuna trees. And when they moved over from Gokul to Vrindavan, at that time, how in the early stages itself, just at the age of 5, he killed Bakasur, Vatsasur. Vakasur was the bird in the form of a bird like a duck with long beaks. and Vatsasur was the calf demon, and how Lord Krishna, he saved them from the forest fire. He chastised Kalia, and how he brought down the pride. He made Indra humble. So the pride of Indra was crushed by Lord Krishna. And how Lord Krishna in a loving mood held Govardhan hill, for 7 days, 7 nights. And how he was, so merciful to the Gopas, showing them what the next destination is going to be, taking them to the, to the lake, where later on Akrura was able to see the Vaikuntha planets again. So he was able to get vision of Ananta Shesh and Lord Vishnu Krishna in his four-arm form. So they are remembering, and as Nand Maharaj is remembering this and Uddhav is hearing that how lovingly Nand Maharaj is expressing that Krishna constantly saved us from all kind of calamities, as how when Arishtasur came in the form of a bull demon, and we talked about it, that represents the terrorists, right? So various anarthas were associated with various killing of these demons, as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in his commentaries. And then Krishna kills Vyomasur, son of Maya demon, and how Lord Krishna kills Keshi, who appeared in the form of a horse, and how Lord Krishna so easily killed Kuvalpediya elephant, how so easily he broke the bow, and this bow was, the size of this bow was 3 talas. So when the size of 3 tala is given, somebody could say, what is the size of 1 tala? So that is the size of a tala tree, about 90 feet. So you can imagine, 270 feet long bow. Lord Krishna just simply picked it up, put the pratyancha, pulled it to his ears and broke it into 2. And then Krishna and Balaram so easily killed 5,000 soldiers who were, sent by Kans. And the next day he killed Kuvalpediya elephant, who had the strength of 10,000 elephants. They easily killed Charun, Mushtika, Kuta, Shala, Toshala, these 5 wrestlers, and each one of them appeared like thunderbolt. And then so easily he killed Kansa and his 8 brothers. While Kansa, this is being revealed, had the strength of more than 10,000 elephants. And now somebody could say, okay, we have not covered like who were these 8 brothers of Kansa who were killed by Krishna and Balaram. 4 were killed by Krishna, 4 by Balaram. Yet at the same time, all of them attain Vaikuntha planets, Sarupya Mukti as well as Salokya. So here, these happen to be, in their previous birth, sons of Deva Yaksha. He was one of the Yakshas under Kuvera. Kuvera is the treasurer of the demigods and is also king of the Yakshas. And Deva Yaksha had 8 sons and they were very handsome. So once he asked his sons, he was Deva Yaksha was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. And he was very opulent, he was very aristocratic, he was very, influential. And one day he was, preparing for worship of Lord Shiva in a grand manner. So he asked his sons to go to the forest and collect 1,000 lotuses. Now the sons were not as religious, they did not understand the rules and regulations very well. So when they went, they picked up the lotuses, but then they smelled the lotuses, not realizing but that by smelling the lotuses, it spoils them. So when the worship was performed for Lord Shiva, the whole ritual, the whole, performance was spoiled because these are smelled lotuses. So when we offer something to the Lord, it should be fresh. And he should be the first one to smell it, to eat it, to see it. And when we offer something to Lord Krishna in deity form, Lord eats it just by his eyes, it is said. So Srila Prabhupada reveals this to us, that Lord can perform any activity of any of his limbs by any other limb. So all limbs are equally capable of performing the activities of all other limbs. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti pashyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti. So again, every limb of Lord Krishna can perform the functions of all other limbs. So he can simply eat with his eyes. And Lord Krishna reveals in Bhagavad Gita, Ham Bij Pradapita. So he is impregnating the material energy, Maya, through his eyes, just by his vision. And all the living entities are coming up, they are receiving these material bodies. So this is how we get material body. Because Lord is impregnating the material energy, so from her womb we are coming. But then who is the, giving of the seed? Lord Krishna is. So that's being revealed as well. And as we continue to hear that, Nand Maharaj is having this conversation, and Uddhav is surprised how much love he has. And Mother Yashoda, she is constantly crying. She is not speaking a single word, but he could see from her eyes that she had become very weak. She is constantly thinking of Krishna, and just by hearing Lord Krishna's pastimes, milk starts flowing, and she is weeping more, and he is astonished. If this is the mood of Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, then what is he going to see when he meets gopis, the various milkmaids in Vrindavan? Now, one of the things that we also wanted to cover before we proceed further on this particular chapter is, one of the aspects Acharyas explained that Lord Krishna did not ask Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Mai to live in Mathura is because they are in Madhurya Ras, right? A different mellow. While, Lord Krishna is there in his Prabhav and Aishwarya Bhav. So, it's more of a opulent position. Aishwarya Bhav is there. So these two bhavs are not easy to, that would have interrupted the pastime. Yet at the same time, Golok Vrindavan is much higher. So Vrindavan in Bhauma still has the influence of, of Golok Vrindavan. So they are in the same mood. So all the living entities, all the Vrindavan Vasis, residents of Vrindavan are in that constantly experiencing transcendental bliss, because they are constantly singing the glories, the informed activities of Lord Shri Krishna. So when they are, constantly in that mode, it is not right. Yet at the same time, there is another reason given by Jiva Goswami. He reveals that if Lord Krishna had gone to Vrindavan, at that time, all these asuras who are going to attack on Mathura, right, who were friends of Kans, they would have also attacked on Vrindavan. So that's also another reason Lord Krishna did not want to visit Vrindavan, because then, knowing that they are very dear to Lord Krishna and Vrindavan is very close to Mathura, so they could have attacked Vrindavan as well, and Lord Krishna did not want any such disturbance. So when Vasudeva Krishna leaves Vrindavan, comes here, and Krishna stays, he never steps out from Vrindavan. So when Nand Maharaj returned, he did return back, but he is in his aparakrit bhava, in his bhava in manifestation, in his form, that he is not visible to the eyes of the residents of Vrindavan. So here, next morning when he gets up after performing his daily duties, when he comes out, what does he see? He is seeing that the gopis, they are surrounding the golden chariot. And as soon as they see Uddhav, and they start to assess that this person looks exactly like Krishna. Yet at the same time, they could sense that this is not Krishna. Why? Because Lord Krishna has a look, his ways, his smiling ways, his attractive talks, and constantly just with his eyes, his, the whole love of Godhead is flowing towards the gopis, so they could understand that this is not Krishna. Yet at the same time, they are conversing with each other. Who is this person who looks exactly like Krishna? And they are seeing that he is wearing lotus garland, and that garland has kumkuma, right? So they are also thinking that who is the, lucky girl, woman who is married to this boy, this young boy who looks exactly like Krishna. And he's dressed like Krishna, he looks like Krishna, he even behaves like Krishna. So knowing that he has received a special mercy from Lord Krishna. So this is where it's revealed that even though gopis are under the influence of Yoga Maya, but they are great personalities who had been, for many, many births, had been constantly meditating on Lord Krishna. So they take Uddhav to a secluded place. Secluded place because they wanted to have a conversation with Uddhav, understanding that he is a very close and dear associate of Lord Krishna. And at that time, as Uddhav is, about to share the message, and he's revealing, they are actually asking him that we understand that you are very close friend, you are very dear, you're servant of Lord Krishna, and explain, the word used is Uttama Shloka, one who is glorified with the best of the poetry. So they are constantly singing. This is what we covered. As soon as Uddhava entered Vrindavan, he was hearing people singing very nicely about the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So that's where he felt like transcendental bliss as soon as he entered Vrindavan. And now glories are confirming it, that they love Krishna and they're only talking about Krishna. That how is Krishna, is he missing us, and so forth. Yet at the same time, one of the gopis, and this is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur reveals, is Radharani. So she, she gets up and she is, feeling this strong emotions. So this is where she is still looking for Krishna. So he could see from her behavior that she is feeling disturbed, and she is thinking of Krishna so intensely. So that's Vipralamba Seva. And this is also exemplified by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who is Krishna himself, but, Antar Krishna Bahar Radha. So externally he has Radharani's complexion, who is covering him, but he is Krishna himself, so he is not appearing in his dark form. He is appearing in his golden form, right? Golden avatar, we call him. Because that's the complexion of Radharani. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranabami Hari Priya. So Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, her complexion is like molten gold. And throughout Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we want to understand, we want to get into the pastimes, of course, with the mercy of the devotees and with the mercy of our spiritual master and hearing from exalted devotees, we want to understand as how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing the signs of Vipralamba Seva. Carrying out devotional service in separation. This is love expressed in separation. And it is a mood of giving, not taking. So again, devotional service is about serving, not getting served. And also the six Goswami, Shri Rup, Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva, Gopal Bhatta, Das Raghunath Goswami. So all the six Goswamis, when they went to Vrindavan on the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were constantly calling out, "Oh Krishna, where are you? Oh Radha, where are you?" Again, in separation, they are loving the Lordship. So this is also called Vipralamba Seva. So this is a seva, it's a devotional service in separation. So the gopis are showing this, and this gopi, when she gets up, so they are talking about, about Krishna, and this gopi gets up, and her intense feeling in separation, she is, observing that there is a bee that had approached her, a bumblebee, right? A honeybee is being said, but there are two types. So the one that has black and yellow markings on it, like bands on her body. But this is a bumblebee, the one that's big. And bumblebee also happens to have a yellow mark on the shoulder. So sometimes it's also called pitambar, right? Because the bumblebee, like Lord Krishna, wears yellow clothes. So golden yellow colored clothes. So she is saying that you are a messenger of your master. And she's saying that your master is, he cheats. So again, we are going to make it simpler because these are exalted poetry that Shukdev Goswami is singing to Parikshit Maharaj, enough to make the hair stand on the ends. And she is singing this, that you are a honeybee, right? And as a honeybee, you are just as unfaithful as your master. And Uddhav is observing this. And he's surprised, he's astonished hearing this mood of Radharani. And throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami never uses, he always calls her Gopi, as one of the gopis. Yet at the same time, Acharyas, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Maharaj, as well as Srila Prabhupada, they revealed to us that they're talking about, Shukadeva Goswami is talking about Radharani, who is the most exalted worshipper and devotee and lover of Lord Krishna, beloved of Lord Krishna. So here, the nature of the bee, she is expressing, that you only take nectar once from a flower and you don't return to that flower second time. So this is the nature of your master. So you are that master's servant, so you are showing the same attitude. I cannot trust you. I cannot trust that you can be faithful in carrying out your services. And then she is giving various examples, various similes, various analogies are being given. She is saying just like a prostitute leaves a man who becomes penniless, who loses his wealth, then the prostitute leaves. So she is saying that you are just like that. And then the next one, even if that's not enough, she is saying just like the subjects who leave the kingdom, if they see that the administration cannot provide them full protection. Now this I can directly relate to the second one, because when I was in India, after having completed my engineering, and I was married, and I was working as a research engineer. At that time, we moved to New Delhi, just me, my wife, and our first son, and it was tough living in New Delhi at that time. The salary was very low, and yet at the same time, trying to survive in India was a challenge because there's just too much corruption. And I still remember this phase where I was traveling to my parents' place with my family, and the ticket checkers, they were coming again and again, just disturbing me. I had a valid, ticket, but they would not let me sleep. They were, there were 3 of them, and they were coming after 15 minutes saying, "Show us your ticket, show us your ticket." And I was really getting, disturbed. I could not sleep, as they had each one of them had visited me at least 6-7 times. I was like, "What's going on, guys? I just want to sleep. You check my ticket, let me go to sleep." And then finally one of them came and said, "Do you have 100 rupees? It was shocking to me that after I'm following all the rules and regulations, they were disturbing me, asking for money. So that was their intention. "We will not let you sleep till you give me money." I said, "Yes, I have, but not to give to you because I have followed the rules." I could very well say, "You have 200 rupees. Would you like to give it to me?" "No, of course not." What is the intention here? So at that time, I prayed very strongly to the Lordship that please, please, please get me out of this situation. I am really tormented. And so, by Lord's mercy, within a month, I was sitting in the US. So sometimes our prayers are heard when we are praying with pure heart. So again, I'm just giving an example that sometimes subjects leave the kingdom when they see that the administration cannot provide them full protection, proper way that they can carry out their life. Now the third one is, she is saying that when a student leaves the teacher once they have received the education. So that's also another example. We see that once we have finished our education, received our certificate, we leave the universities. And that's what the universities teach us. We give you the education so you can earn money. And this is where Srila Prabhupada said, "Do you have any spiritual department?" When he was visiting Boston University, he said, "Do you have any spiritual department that talks about what happens after life?" And they didn't have one. So he said, "You should, because what is happening?" He gave a very nice example. He discussed this story with his disciple that Himalaya is going to give birth. So once it was revealed that Himalaya is going to give birth, so all the people, they gathered, near Himalaya, like, how will it give birth? So they are waiting, and suddenly they hear a lot of noise, and it's growing, and suddenly they see hundreds of thousands of mice, they are running out, rats are running out of. So Srila Prabhupada gave this example, this is what is happening. This is what is being produced by the universities today. That they are, just like the mice, they are making people just educated enough so that they can survive. Well, eat, sleep, mate, defend, these facilities are available and already destined when you take birth. What is the great thing on trying to get a job that you can just survive yourself? You are still surviving, you are still facing the miseries of life. Janam mrityu jara vyadhi dukha doshanu darshanam. So you are constantly facing the miseries of life. What is the benefit of such education? Rather, one takes to devotional service and quickly achieve the purpose of this life, because the most important question one should ask is, what is my purpose here? Why am I suffering in this material world? Why are there miseries? Why am I here? And the Shastras, the scriptures reveal to us, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. And if we are Brahman, that means we are having material experience. Why have material experience when we can have spiritual experience? And we can simply start this journey for our spiritual growth, on a journey to achieve the purpose of this life, simply by chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that is a beautiful example where students today, they are coming out of college without really knowing what's the purpose of life, without even knowing why are we here, why are they suffering, what is it that they need to achieve. Because when you are working very hard, then you could be on the ladder of success, but after you achieve success, you realize that the ladder was leaning on the wrong side. So Brahma Prabhu gives this nice example that after achieving success, you realize actually you're supposed to be going the other side, and you actually went in the opposite direction. Also, a very nice example is given that as soon as a priest, she is saying that a priest who has been paid for the sacrifice, he leaves his yajman, right? The person who has requested the sacrifice and the various ritualistic ceremonies to be performed, the priest leaves them right after they have received the gifts or remuneration. So this is a common attitude. And in India today we see that they are not so very qualified priests. Some of the Brahmanas, they are just like, when you approach them, the first thing they say is, put dakshina first. So that is something that we want to be very careful of. When you go to the temple, Hare Krishna temple, it's so blissful that everyone is asking you, please chant. So easy to do. Because they know that once you chant, you will automatically be engaged in devotional service and you will attain the purpose why you are here, why we are here, and what is the purpose of our life and how we can be happy. Just before being happy, we need to be peaceful. And Srila Prabhupada reveals the peace formula in Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Krishna is revealing this to Arjun. Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. So, Bhoktaram yagatapasam, he is the beneficiary of all sacrifices. Sarva loka maheshwaram, he is the supreme proprietor of all material and spiritual universes. Surhidam sarva bhutanam, he is the best friend of all living entities, not just human beings but also animals, plants, insects, aquatics, all living entities. And whoever knows this, understands this, realizes this, attains peace. And how can you be happy if you are not peaceful? So first we attain peace and we chant the holy name so that we can deliver this mind. Mantra means mantra, one that delivers the mind. So Radharani is giving all these similes. Also, she gives this example that birds, they abandon a tree when the tree becomes fruitless. So that is true, because birds are seeking to nourish themselves, and once there is no fruit in the tree, they leave the tree. Then they are saying that guests leave after eating the meal. So when they go to Yajman, the guests, the atithis, they leave the house once they have had taken the meal. But devotees, when we are performing Namhattas and performing Sankirtan Yagyas at our homes, it is even better, because devotees stay, because they have taken the meal for the body. Now they are hankering for more meal for the soul. Srila Prabhupada gives us this instruction and this metaphor. He discusses a bird in a cage, right? If you keep polishing the cage, well, the bird will die, because it needs to be fully nourished. It needs to be provided proper nourishment, proper food. And similarly, our soul inside this body will die, will be starving if we don't nourish it properly. And what's the nourishment? Nourishment is the holy name of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Radharani is giving these amazing examples. Yet devotees, we are not just looking for bodily nourishment, we are looking for spiritual nourishment. Because that is the main purpose of our life. Every moment to be spent in singing, hearing, chanting, and remembering Lord Shri Krishna. And then she gives the example where she is coming to the point of even rebuking Lord Krishna. He is saying that just like a lover leaves his beloved after he has enjoyed her. So she is feeling, while Lord Krishna is already present in Vrindavan in bhava, right? Manifestation. He is aparakrat, he is not visible to the eyes, yet at the same time he is there in Vrindavan. And Radharani is expressing this love because Lord Krishna says that when gopis are remembering him in separation, their love is increasing. He is actually benefiting them by increasing their love for him. And he says that during the rasa dance, when he had disappeared from their sight, and later on when he appeared, what did he say? That, oh gopis, please don't find fault in me. I only disappeared because I could see that your love for me increased. So again, a beloved remembers her lover more when she is in separation, not in direct association. So this is what Lord Krishna is revealing to them, that their love is increasing. And when they had asked that what about a person who does not reciprocate, Lord Krishna says that I can never pay. I can never, and he is so indebted to the gopis, even in a lifetime of Brahma, he cannot repay the debt of the gopis as how they are serving him with so much love and devotion. And he says that please be satisfied in your own service, in your own, by this only, the way you are serving me. And here Radharani her mood is increasing, so she is coming to the point that she is even saying that Lord Krishna is like this lover who leaves the woman after having enjoyed. And to the bumblebee, in verses 12 to 21, her impulsive emotions have been exemplified, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives very nice commentary, very technical at times, yes. Yet at the same time, in Ujjvala Nilamani, it is very nicely described in this composition. And then she gives such amazing examples and revealing that she knows that Lord Krishna, in her previous life, he was Ramchandra. And Lord Ramchandra, we all know that Lord Ramchandra is also glorified as Maryada Purushottam. Yet at the same time, Radharani is giving such heavy examples that are astonishing, sometimes bewildering to our puny brain, but they are glories of the Lord. So Lord Ramchandra, she's saying that he, even though he was born as a Kshatriya, when he went to fight, means again, he went and being incited by his friend, she is referring to Sugriva, that he was hiding himself behind a tree. And he shot the arrow just like a hunter shoots the arrow. And that's not a characteristic of a Kshatriya. That's not the Maryada. And his Maryada Purushottam, Lord Ramchandra. So she's giving this example that when Lord Ramchandra, he killed Vali, he did not fight, he did not challenge Vali like a Kshatriya would. Rather, he did it as a hunter hiding behind a tree. And Uddhav is hearing it. He is astonished. So again, in the other scriptures, elaborately it's given that Uddhav is not able to find words to describe as how Lord Ramchandra was justified. Because as a Kshatriya dharma, if you are in a fight, if you want to harm someone, you call them out. You say, Savadhan. You call them out, make it visible. You don't do it like, hide yourself behind a tree and, bushes and you suddenly attack unknowingly. Then she says that as a Kshatriya, when Shurpanakha approached him, at that time he was henpecked by Sita Devi. So she is using this, that he was under the spell of his queen, Sita Mata, that he, disfigured Shurpanakha. But as a Kshatriya, if a woman approaches, a qualified woman approaches you, a Kshatriya would accept and satisfy her. So she is revealing. So again, from the Shastras we understand that how it was justified because Shurpanakha attacked to devour Sita Mata. Yet at the same time, disfiguring her is the point she is, revealing. And then she says in his previous birth he was born as a Vaman Dev. So again, thinking that these are simple cowherd girls is completely, raveling another, it's just like, another layer to Uddhav. That she is revealing that when he approached Bali Maharaj at the sacrificial arena, Bali Maharaj was ready to give him whatever he wanted. Yet, Lord, in his previous birth as Vaman Dev, put Bali Maharaj in shackles just like a cow. Such a great personality, and we understand when we covered these pastimes where Bali Maharaj, he agreed to give 3 paces of land, and after 2 steps, Vaman Dev expanded into Trivikrama form, already had taken everything that belonged to Bali Maharaj, and he said, where should I put the 3rd step? That was to glorify Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj said, I still have this body, please put your 3rd step on my head. And so it is revealed sometimes that he was sent to Sutala Lok, which is just above Patal. So she is revealing that he was pushed down to Patal Lok. Yet at the same time we understand Sutala Lok is more glorious even than Swarg Lok. And the capital of Bali Maharaj is 1,000 times more beautiful than Amravati, the capital of Indra. And Vaman Dev himself resided there. So those are the glories. Yet she is giving these examples. And then suddenly the bumblebee disappears from her sight. And now she is feeling this distress. Then now the bumblebee was the messenger of Krishna. Now this messenger will go to Krishna. Because she knows that Uddhav is also listening. Right? So this messenger will go to Krishna, and she is feeling that as if that bumblebee has really left her. And now is going to report her to Krishna that Radha is saying so and so about you. And this will give so much pain to Krishna. So now she is not thinking that this is justified. Now she is thinking that Lord Krishna, who is my all in all, he is my life and soul, he will feel so much pain hearing about how I had spoken about him. And she is feeling this acute distress now more in feeling that how bad Krishna would feel. And yet at the same time, suddenly she sees the messenger again, the bumblebee again. And now she is jubilant and she is more, she is trying to pacify, as if she is pacifying the messenger. Oh, that Lord Krishna is so merciful that even after hearing all these things that I have said about him, he has sent the messenger back to me. And then she is trying to have a conversation with this bumblebee. That, please understand, that I am in separation. And it's very nicely elaborated in the chapter. So it's a chapter that we can read again and again, just one verse. We could meditate for hours and hours. As how Radharani is sharing her emotion in separation, the Vipralamba Seva, as it has been described by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, she's, showing her emotions. And as she's, glorifying even now the bee, thinking that this is the messenger of Lord Krishna, Shyama Sundar. And she is narrating that Lord Krishna is so merciful. And now there is an expression she has is hope against hope. She's saying that Lord Krishna, he always likes to make new friends. So there is a possibility that he won't stay in Mathura for long. He will go out of Mathura soon. So maybe he will come back. So this is where 6 Goswamis, they were calling out to Lord Krishna and, Mother Radha, oh Krishna, where are you? Radharani, where are you? So she's showing that mood that he could very well come back. So this is hope against hope, which she is seeking. And Uddhav then, now she is ready to hear the message. And, she joins the other gopis. And Uddhav, he has a letter from Lord Krishna. Yet at the same time, he understands if he just, reads out the letter, it may appear not, so mellow. So he is going to elaborate, because sometimes a sentence in a letter that somebody has written, there are whole, lot of emotions behind it. So Uddhav wants to make sure that these exalted gopis, whose life and soul is Lord Krishna, can really relate to the letter that Lord Krishna has sent. So he explains every single sentence, every bhav that Lord Krishna has appropriately. And now he understands the purpose Lord Krishna has sent him. That Lord Krishna has sent him to see how exalted the gopis are and how they are constantly immersed in his thoughts. Not for a moment they are separated from him. And he wants to make sure that Lord Krishna's message is properly revealed to the gopis. And of course, there, he's revealing that Lord Krishna is saying that he is the cause of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, and he is, engaged in his various pastimes, and that he is missing them so much. And hearing this, all the gopis, they are feeling that, Vipralamba Seva. And so Srila Prabhupada says that when we call out for Lordship, when we sing the various kirtans of the Acharyas, we should call out for Lord's name in the mood of a child separated from its mother. So just like a child is calling out for its mother, that's the mood we should be calling out when we are chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Looking out, calling out for the Lord so that he comes and he saves us from this separation that we have, constant separation, and fills us with the transcendental bliss that these gopis are observing. And after passing on the message, Uddhava returns and he stays there for many, many months. So after several months, he decides to leave. And at that time, when he expresses that he is leaving, Nand Maharaj and the elderly cowherd, when they approach him, embracing him with love, with affection, that he is going to meet Krishna, and they are giving various kinds of gifts for Krishna, for Vasudeva, from Ugrasen, who is the king now of Mathura. And they, and he is amazed, and all the gopis are very nicely treating, and he has now understood, and he has this feeling that he wants to be a plant or a creeper in Vrindavan, so that he may, be touched by the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis as they wander in Vrindavan. So in that mood, he is, experiencing that how exalted the residents of Vrindavan, are, as well as how exalted Nand Maharaj and Yashoda Mai are, and how much more exalted are the gopis of Vrindavan. When he returns, he sees Lord Krishna, passes on the message he has received, and he is expressing his gratitude to Lord Krishna. In other scriptures, very nicely described that Lord Krishna sees the symptom of love invoking when he sees Uddhav returning from Vrindavan. And Lord Krishna is reciprocating to the message that he is receiving through Uddhav, the message of the gopis. And then Uddhav goes and meets Vasudev, brings various gifts that were, to be delivered to Vasudev, and then he goes to Ugrasen, the king of Mathura, and he delivers the gifts that the Vrajvasis, the residents of Vrindavan, Nand Maharaj and other cowherdmen have sent for them. One of the things that Radharani sends is a jewel ornamented flute for Lord Krishna. So that is also there, and related pastimes are there with the flute. So this is where this chapter ends. And I would encourage for us to read this chapter again and again. And if you can read Shri Nila Chintamani, the composition where Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, identifies the various moods as Radharani is expressing her sometimes anger, her distress, her even rebuking of her lover. And those are amazing compositions, something to look for. And always hoping against hope, seeking constant dependency at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna and chanting of the holy name in that mood. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Kore Vaishnav Vind ki jai.